Hi, hi everybody. My name is MP and I'm an addict.
And
Uh, just a little bit of history, I guess I should say that I got clean May 19th, 1978. I'm grateful to be a member of Narcotics Anonymous, and I love NA. Uh, yeah, I'm a proclaimed nerd also. So let's be clear that I have a tendency to be very nerdish. So if I have the opportunity to, I don't know, nerd out on something, whether it's to follow something down the path in research or doing it on the web, that's something that I do. In my personal life, I happen to be the trustee of a trust. I happen to have a trust. For my life if I die. And so I know a little bit about trusts, and I really like learning how it's not a lawsuit, that it's a petition, which is very cool, that it's really saying, is this being done right according to the law versus what one member versus another member thinks it should be. It's going to come down to what is the intent, and is the FIPT being followed according to its intent. And that leads me into meetings in the pandemic. That is my topic. And I will share with you that when they closed everything down, I immediately went to what in the actual, how's a newcomer going to find a meeting? What are they going to do? And then all of these Zoom meetings started popping up, and people were having problems and being bombed. And then you had people needed passwords. And listen, I've been around for a little while. There are some old people and people that I love that are very sick, that they can't even get up and go to a computer. They do stuff on their phone, or people bring them meetings. I'm like, what in the actual F is going to happen here? So I decided, okay, look, this is something that I can do really quick. And I put up a website, and I did not use Zoom. And I want to share with you because I was asked to. There's some opinions around this, and so I'm going to keep my opinion out of it. I just want to share some facts about this, that any Zoom meeting, you have to give your email address to a company. People who collect email addresses on the internet do that so that they have data, so that they can email you. So they can email you when there's an upgrade, so that they can email you when there's something that they want. And it freaked me out. It freaked me out because anyway, so then if you have an iPhone or an Android, then you have to download an app, and then you have to put in information. And we knew within 3 weeks, because schools started using Zoom, and then the FBI came in and they said that they are misusing the data. And so really just kind of goes against, in my humble opinion, the traditions. And so there are other ways. I really liked what the guy just said who spoke before me. I'm looking to see what his name was really quick. What Joseph B. said, because as a result of that, nobody has to give any information. They're just calling in. So the site that we built uses a platform, and this is the thing that, and again, this is one addict's understanding of the traditions in view. If you say to go to a Zoom meeting, you have now affiliated Narcotics Anonymous with a company called Zoom. There is no such thing as a Zoom meeting. There's a Narcotics Anonymous meeting being hosted on a platform called Zoom. So whether it's a group that has many meetings throughout the day, or whether it's an individual hosting a meeting, Zoom is a platform. It is not Narcotics Anonymous. Now, with that said, the BMLT, people talk about blue jeans. What this is if you don't know, if you have a website that runs on WordPress, WordPress developers have created a plugin that is open source. And what that means in the simplest ways, if you're an area and you have a WordPress website, you can use a plugin that was created by people in Narcotics Anonymous that is available in the world, that you go and you install this plugin on your site, and it shows a list of meetings of where they are, and that's how data is then distributed, and that is approved by NAS. So when we put our website up, we used a service called Jitsi, and we did that because there's no passwords, and it is a link that brings you into a meeting room versus somebody hosting a platform. And so then we knew if it's Jitsi, then what's going to happen is people aren't going to know what to do and how they're going to set up their own thing. So what we ended up doing is we went and we said, okay, just email us what you want to do and we will make that happen. And, you know, hey, we've got the Philippines and I don't know, we've got all kinds of places that, you know, decided, Tanzania, India, several in the United States. And we didn't do this to create some great meeting site. A good friend of mine created a website called nastuff.com, and has thousands of Zoom meetings. We did this because it's very easy to just click in and use. And when we did that, we set it up initially so that people wouldn't, not everybody knows how to use PowerPoint to share their screen, to be able to show the steps and the traditions for the meeting, or to put tabs and go someplace and link on a tab to show the, to share your screen to show the meeting. So we put it in a way that people could just see it all in one spot. And we got notified that there was a complaint, and as a result of that, asked to remove them. And this was a big bone of contention for me and the other NA member that put this together. And it was a bone of contention because what do you mean we can't put the NA steps on a site? Now, you know, with full disclosure, the site is na12steps.com. It's a site that I've owned for a long time. And I have some history there with NAS and buying websites, and they didn't want that site. But I put that on there because I felt like it was an easy site to use. And in the long run, I don't know if you would use the word threatened. I think some people that have heard my story do feel like it was something that was a threat. But I think the bottom line is the only way that we asked for permission, we went through the right steps, and the only way that we were told that if we were going to put any NA literature on our site, even though it would be simpler for somebody to use who is not Zoom or computer literate, would have been to link to NAS. And so we chose to remove all of those links. We have one link to the Cumberland NA area, but we didn't do it as a reading. And it is disturbing when the FBI came out and said that they're tracking things, and it became, you know, worldwide news that Narcotics Anonymous really got into place. And, you know, people have talked about how they have, I don't know, how they have heard that NAS is the one that made worldwide meetings happen. And I think most of you in here know that that happened because most of us just wanted to help people and stay connected. And it was maybe the nerds of the world, I don't know, Nerds Unite, but it was people who love NA and who want to help the newcomer. And we had, just kind of like Joseph talked about, we had some open NA chat rooms that we just left open 24/7. We don't really know how many people use them or not, so we removed them, and nobody's asked us to put them back up, which is a really simple thing for us to do. But we don't own it. It's not something we own. It's not something that we get kudos for. It's just something that we built. And I think in the pandemic, I think right now, just to address, I know that areas and regions and home groups are looking at what is the best way to open meetings back up. Some people are talking about doing hybrid meetings. Some people are talking about doing meetings in a way that will be, how do you keep, if you do a hybrid meeting, how do you keep it anonymous for people who are there in person? In my specific area, I've chosen not to go back to meetings. That's just me. I'm not quite in the category. I'm not 65 and older, but I do feel like I feel connected. I went to a meeting this past Tuesday. Bill, I can't remember the name of the group, but you told me what it was. God, I immediately went to STD. That's how sick I am. But STS, what is it, Bill?
It's Jason. It's Seeking Spiritual Traditions meeting.
Yeah.
And I have the file on the link so people can go.
Okay. Seeking Spiritual Traditions meeting. I thought it was an hour meeting. I had to leave a little after 7, but that was a great meeting. And I see a lot of you on here because I think sometimes, whether it's a huge meeting or a small meeting, one of the things I believe that happens is that people are able to not, I'm going to use the word be shamed, is the only way that I can say it. So that if you do want to read from the basic text version or edition 2, or you want to read from the gray book or the baby blue, I mean, really it gives you a place to do that with some autonomy and to follow as you want to without being given shit. I don't know. I think that in the end, when it comes to the pandemic, I think that all of us have learned a lot. And I think that anybody who wants to stay connected can. We have seen a lot of newcomers have struggled. And, I really hope that if you're here and you know somebody, or you don't know, or you're not good with computers, I'm a nerd and I'll help you any way I can. And it's very easy to stay connected even once the doors start opening again. I mean, history shows that, pandemics and things like this go in waves. So even if they open it up, it may go like this again. And I think it's good for us to be good stewards of keeping meetings alive and keeping meetings open for newcomers. I'm passionate about this because I feel that sometimes, though I wasn't there at the WSC and I don't understand, I just have heard that people took credit for things that weren't really theirs to take credit for. And I think in the long run, those people who set up meetings or who host meetings, and Jason, thank you so much for asking me to speak and for hosting this. I think it's I use Zoom when I go to meetings and I use our platform too, but I think that it's just an interesting approach. And I don't have much else to share about it, except for I'm glad that you all are in a meeting of Narcotics Anonymous, and that you're all here to learn. And I've learned a lot today. And with that, thanks for letting me share. It is the members that are doing this. And something that the speaker before said, I'm blessed. I get to go to a timeshare every year. We go to Aruba. And maybe 4 or 5 years ago, my wife and I were there, and we met the person who brought her name is Yolanda L. And she brought NA to Aruba, and they were really suffering. And they have 2 languages there. They have English and they have Papiamento. And they went through, I can't tell you what they went through just to get a book in Papiamento to carry the message on their tiny island. They couldn't get NAS to respond. Long story short, in many years, they had somebody on the island write it, and they translated it themselves. They sent it to World Services, to NAS. I got on the phone with the guy at NAS. You want me to tell you why they wouldn't print it? Because they didn't have somebody at NAS that knew Papiamento to confirm that what was written was really written. If you send literature there, they get taxed. The government goes through it. And my wife, who I love very much, ended up bringing some baby blues there, and I know that they're printing them and using them now. And the bottom line is, you know, that's a tiny island, and every year we go there and we're so welcomed, and they love us. They love hearing the message of Narcotics Anonymous, and they're staying clean, man. And it's amazing. Yolanda, if you're on here, I'm just going to say hi to you, but I will just tell you the links that people are willing to go to just to read the basic text that don't have it. We're on our 6th edition. Some of them have never had it. It's mind-blowing to me. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. I think a lot of people are disillusioned, and I like it that people like you and me still go to meetings and we tell the truth, because I'll tell you, a lot of people get tired and they walk away. Hey, Camilla.
Hello. Thank you so much. I am working here, and so I've been on since the beginning, but I had to step away for a little bit. I am the webmaster of nabyphone.com, and I just wanted to thank you, and I'd love to exchange phone numbers. So
Sure.
That would be great. We have been trying to get recognition for virtual recovery for 8 years, and it did take the pandemic before that actually happened. And I have been asked what I think the future of NA is going to look like. And I am very optimistic. I think that even after face-to-face meetings resume again, people are not going to give up their virtual recovery. It's just too wonderful to be able to associate with people on the Zoom platform or on the video platform or on the phone line platform with people all over the world. Do you think that there is finally going to be some recognition of virtual recovery as a fully functional part of NA? Is virtual recovery going to have a voice in NA politics?
Well, this is my opinion about that. Who cares? You know why? Because your site ranks for NA by phone.
That's right.
And people are now looking to look online, and they're going to go and they're going to find it irregardless. If your site stays going and for 69 days you've had an ongoing meeting, the message is going to get out. It doesn't, your service doesn't even need NA.
That's right.
As a NOS. It's happening. You're doing it without it, man. I looked you up.
That is true. That is true. We've had 70 meetings in addition to that marathon meeting that Joseph started, 2.5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had meetings going since 2008, and we have very definitely been carrying the message. But I just always kind of thought that I would like to be able to have a voice in how NA is shaped in the future. And
I think you don't even realize what kind of voice you do have. And if you end up going and being a part of the different regions, or however you do it, there's no option but for them to listen.
Well, we have actually started a virtual area. We are not affiliated with any geographical area, and we're just getting the area up off the ground. So we are doing what phone lines and groups all over the world have been doing. But even among some of the phone line people, there is some resistance. They say, oh, that's not NA. And it's like, of course it is. You just don't understand.
Yeah.
But
I look forward to talking to you offline, and anything I can do to help. I'm part of the, what is it now, the PR area. I was chair last year. Now we're whatever. And we have a phone lines, and I will definitely bring your information and be sure that our area knows of your own area.